Welcome one and all. This is WESN Content Capital Face of Sports. Today we are going to be talking to a young man who has contributed tremendously in terms of sport in this country, in particular cricket, West Indies cricket, Trinidad and Tobago cricket. But before we do that, we must talk about what's going on in terms of hockey in this country. In Trinidad and Tobago right now, we are experiencing in hockey our lowest period. For the last 6 years, going on 7 years and more, there has been no hockey league in Trinidad and Tobago because of one reason or the other. Initially, it was because of the location in Tagariga and the turf not being up to standard. A new turf was purchased. When that turf arrived, it was in the wrong size. Another turf came. That turf also was the right size, but there were some problems in terms of the quality. We have now been told some 6 or 7 years later that we finally have the turf in this country. It's going to be laid and ready for action come June or July. In the meantime, no hockey is being played in Trinidad and Tobago, and next month our under-21 boys hockey team will not be able to travel abroad and compete for Trinidad and Tobago for one reason or another as well. The women or the ladies or the girls, they also are struggling in terms of being able to train. Why? Because the only venue able to facilitate this training is the St. James Barracks, the turf service that was put down by former police commissioner Gary Griffith. Now though, the army and the police have come to an agreement. It appears that the police are in charge of the turf and charging $500 TT an hour. No sporting organization can pay that. The national team can only train on one day, we understand, Saturday alone. That's what's happening in hockey. Hockey is now at its lowest ebb. And withstanding all of that, the hockey officials on the board are getting jobs outside as umpires, as chair officials. I have to ask, how are they getting these jobs to work outside of Trinidad and Tobago when there is no hockey inside of Trinidad and Tobago? Is hockey now about administrators and not about the athletes? Those are some of the questions which we know will go unanswered, because at this time, the Hockey Association, we understand, is close to the sports company TT, and they're getting full support from Sport TT. So that explains a lot of the mess that is going on. However, we're going to take a short break, and when we return, we'll be joined by former West Indies captain, former Trinidad and Tobago captain, former leading wicketkeeper. I'm talking about Dinesh Shutter Ramdin. Dinesh, he's got into a new sport, but it's not a new sport. He likes golf. Most of these cricketers like golf. When we come back, we'll be talking with him, and we'll be talking a lot about what he's doing now in terms of his career. We take a short break. We'll be back.
What's the best way to grab the attention of viewers?
Please exercise more patience. You have to be kidding me.
Doing what we do best.
I'll say at the very least it's a conspiracy of laziness against the people.
Join me, Keaton Shaw.
And me, Sean Michael Small, for Talking Point.
Weekdays from 8 a.m. to 9:30 a.m.
We go in depth on the trending issues and engage the most controversial newsmakers
as we get them to account to the people for their actions.
You can't go to the government with nothing. You can't go to cabinet with an empty hand, with a wish.
I'm glad that we're having this a sober, mature discussion.
In the present situation, I expect a continuation of the chaos.
Join us for the discussion, Mondays to Fridays,
only on WESN,
the content capital.
With society plagued by a host of issues, with debates surrounding our urgent concerns falling short, with questions of our future not always being answered,
the conversation continues. Join me, Kemuel Pascal, as the voice of the youth comes to life. We will confront the controversial topics of today's world to gain answers that are key for a better tomorrow. One and One with me, Kemuel Pascal. Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Only on WESN Content Capital.
Join me, Sule A. Joseph, as I delve into the day-to-day psychological issues plaguing our society. We will discuss behaviors that encompass the biological influences, social pressures, and environmental factors that affect how you think, act, and feel. Psyched. Thursdays at 11:30 a.m. Only on WESN, Content Capital.
Take some time for yourself or spend some time with the family at Sandy Point Village Hotel. Enjoy our various studio and suite apartments, self-contained with their own kitchenettes and Wi-Fi. We also have our famous 100-foot swimming pool and our beachfront restaurant, The Steak and Lobster Grill. And our location in Crown Point puts us near the center of activity from the nylon pool to the local nightlife. Call us and make your reservations at 639-8533, 389-2378 or email us at sandypointvillagehotel@gmail.com.
FanZone, your reliable, authentic supplier, has just gotten better. You can now visit our website www.fanzonett.com for your authentic wear and collectibles. The only place where you can use both your Visa debit and credit cards. Visit our website fanzonett.com to make your purchase today.
Welcome back, welcome back. This is WESN Content Capital Face of Sport. And as we promised you, we've got former West Indies captain, former West Indies player, former Trinidad and Tobago captain, one of Trinidad and Tobago's leading wicketkeepers, Dinesh Ramdin, Shutter as he's called with us. Dinesh, welcome. All right, I think you're muted. We're not hearing you. All right. Let's see if we're hearing you now.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Correct. We're hearing you. Great. Dinesh, so tell us a little bit, now that Dinesh Ramdin has retired from cricket, is it fair to say I've retired from cricket? Let me ask you that.
Well, I've retired from international cricket, still playing a bit of domestic T20 in the US, some Legends T20 as well. So, those tournaments are coming quick and fast, the way how the cricketing world is going right now. There's so many Legends T10 and T20 tournaments coming up. So, I'm back and forth in India, United States, Asia, those other countries where cricket is big. So, wherever the opportunity comes, I go. And it's good fun.
Tell us a little bit about that, because when people hear the Legends, how does it work? How do you get involved in that? Is it that they select you, you put your name forward? How does this work?
Basically, it's all of the Legends players who have retired from international cricket. And, it's short tournaments, probably 2 weeks max. So you get a lot of South Africans, the Australians, a lot of West Indians are there. And it's a nice tournament where you go and meet players who you have played back in the day, 10, 12 years ago, and you meet up and you're on the same team with them as well to go out and compete against other guys.
I know you recently returned from one. How was that? How was the experience, and tell us about it?
There were one recently in Qatar. I was supposed to go to that one, but unfortunately I didn't go. But feedback from that tournament was fantastic, and they're going to have more of it from the grapevine. It went really well. The World Giants team, which I was supposed to be part of, we lost in the final. And as I said, the TV rights, the sponsorship, the team owners, all of them were quite happy with it. And they can't wait to move to another leg, which I believe is going to be a T10 Masters tournament coming up shortly.
All right. What do you miss the most from not playing international cricket, Dinesh Ramdin?
Just that competitiveness, going out there and playing against the best players in the world, and that fight in the middle of the tension that you faced all the time. It's an amazing sport, especially Test cricket. One of the best games, one of the best part of the game where you learn a lot. It takes you up to a high level and brings you back down very quickly and make you learn and understand and you grow as an individual.
Interesting you would mention Test cricket, Dinesh, because the young players coming up now, some of them, from what we have witnessed, and I'm not only talking about West Indians, have made a decision, it appears, to focus really on what we would call the white ball cricket. And the white ball cricket, obviously, is one-day internationals and T20. So a lot of them are not getting any Test experience. What's wrong with that?
I think it's an easier format when you can just go there and look at the white ball and smash it out the park. We have a lot of strong West Indians in the Caribbean who just go there and does that. It works for them, but it's not helping our red ball format at this point in time. a lot of players have been demand around the world for white ball. White ball doesn't move after what 5-10 overs, and if you have a lot of players who bats down the order, they benefit from it, or just going on and hit the ball out of the park. Yes, there's the money side of it. It's a lot beneficial to a lot of players who's going on that road, especially all-rounders who are getting close to $1 million plus in all those leagues. And then when you look at our test arena, it's very hard for us to transition that into a test on the red ball format, where we find ourselves playing a lot of white ball cricket and going to test and not adapting as we should to compete that 5 days and win test matches to get up in the top 4 to compete for a world ranking test championship.
Do you feel like in the past, a lot of people used to say that West Indians players were pigeonholed, Dinesh Ramdin, some were decided you could only play test cricket, you could only play one-day cricket, you could only play T20. Can we afford to do that? Do we have enough talent in the Caribbean, Dinesh Ramdin, to do that?
Yes, we do have the talent. It's how we nurture and how we use our players. We just can't have all our white ball players, play in one format. We could mix them where you have the likes of, just use Nicholas Puran, for example. He's one of our best batsmen. If he bats number 5 or 6 for West Indies in test matches, he could be a guy who can take away a game from you quite easily. As I said, at the end of the day, it's up to the individual if he wants to go down that road, or if he chooses to play white ball and live in there.
So let's talk a little bit about what is Dinesh Ramdin doing now. So we know you're playing golf. We have some photos. We know you're playing golf, but what else? And tell us about golf.
Yeah, it's a sport that, traveling with West Indies team and meeting players around the world, you get the opportunity to play in different courses, golf courses, that is. And I just fell in love with the game. It's a really nice game where you take your mind off cricket and you go there and enjoy a good day of golf. And, I've continued to play the game, gravitate towards it. And now, I came out with my own brand now with my 124 agency out of the US, where we have caps, shirts, a very nice clothing line. We're going to do shoes. A lot of kids stuff has come in as well. And by the end of this month, the 30th of April, I'm having my first annual golf tournament at Petritrin Sports Club. So hopefully, all the golfers out there are going to register. And, Trinis like to register quite late. But nevertheless, whoever is interested, you're welcome to come and partake and take part of the tournament. It's going to be a fun tournament, and I'm sure it's going to be exciting for everyone.
Tell us a little bit about the logo, because we're watching some photos as well. Tell us about the logo and the caps, how it came up with the logo, the design, everything.
Yeah, it took some time. It took some time getting to that logo. We had a lot of deliberation in terms of which one, what color, and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it's my brand, and I decided like this will be the best brand in terms of my nickname, Shutter 80. And a lot of people have known my name throughout the cricketing world, and now gravitating towards the golf. It's easier, and so far it's been going good. A lot of feedback has been good coming out from it. So, within the next month or so, there'll be a lot of more merchandising being shown online and stores here in Trinidad and Tobago.
Tell us about the 124 Not Out, how you got involved with that agency. We know that Ricardo Powell and his wife is very much involved. Tell us a little bit more.
Yeah, Rick reached out to me and he said, look, this is something that no one have not done before in terms of, being part of the agency and using the agency to go to a different route. You play cricket, yes, but you're a good golfer as well. So let's try something. Let's see how it coincides with cricket and golf at the same time. And as I said, with a lot of deliberation, a lot of back and forth, and getting the right logo, getting the right company to supply the clothing, the shoes and stuff like that, the golf gloves, the caps. And so far it's been going good. We'll be getting a shipment shortly. And so far, I guess, the response has been fantastic.
And of course, we're looking at some flyers basically that you have for the event. What's you say you're a good golfer. What's your handicap?
My handicap at the moment is 6.
I've
not played for a while.
Wow.
I've not played for a while, so hopefully within the next year or so it goes down a bit more. I'm not one of those guys who try to, win tournaments with high handicap. I believe when you play in a sport, you want to be the best you can be, and the high level of competitiveness. I've played at the international level. I'm trying to go down as low as possible, maybe to a scratch one day.
Who's the best among who's the best golfer among the current players who would have played with you?
Shamar Brooks, he's good. Jason Holder, Dwayne Smith, those guys are good. So yeah, there's some good golfers.
What about Trinidad and Tobago players? Everybody, you call two Bajans so far. Yeah, I need a Trinidad and Tobago player.
No, they haven't played against those players. The guys like Sunil, Simo, Dwayne, those guys don't play golf. So yeah.
In terms of what golf has done for you now, because making that transition, people will look at you and say, Shutter, you have played at the highest level in cricket. How do you relax? How do you find something else to do? Because you've played at such an intense level for such a long time.
Yeah, it's a really nice game. Once you go there, it's frustrating at times when you're on the cricket field, but you know, playing golf and taking your mind away from it and playing on some different courses. Sometimes you go there and you meet people from different backgrounds, different fields in terms of business sides of it. It's good to find out their side of stories, how they grew up. My side, you know, collectively you sit and chat, and through golf I've met a lot of good people, and from there I keep going from strength to strength, and through meeting those people with my brand now, it's easy to transition and get my brand out there a lot quicker and efficiently.
Where do you see your brand going? You spoke to us about the fact, of course, you're involved with 124 Not Out from the USA, Ricardo Powell and his wife, the Bajia connection. Where do you see your brand going in terms of golf and in terms of not only clothing, but are you seeing something else?
Yeah, most definitely. Not just golf. Sooner or later, it's going to be in cricket as well. As I said, 124 Not Out we are going this way first, and we like it to get bigger in the Caribbean, because I'm from the Caribbean, and eventually get to the US market, English. It's going to take some time. It's not a brand that's going to build maybe in a year or two, but I have no doubt putting all my hard work behind it, and hopefully in years to come, you know, get it up there with the Michael Jordans and LeBron James and all those guys. The young guy from the Caribbean on a different level, trying to meet those guys.
Yeah, 124 Not Out. We know that's because of Ricardo's Powell's highest score playing for the West Indies. So I must ask you now, from your perspective, what has been your best moment playing for the West Indies?
Well, obviously winning 2 World Cups for West Indies, and my first Test century in Barbados. Scoring a Test century is also always special, and getting that with one of my best mates, Ramnarish Sawan, when he had 291 on that same ground, that inning against England, and just winning the 2 World Cups is always fantastic to go there. You have a lot of players who have played so many cricket for their country over the years and have not won a World Cup, and they have you know been exceptional players. But winning a World Cup, it's really special. To me, those 2 World Cups was just tremendous. The collective team, the unity, the family that we had together, and going out there and executing was just phenomenal. And then 2016, the ladies in India, they did it as well. So that was super special.
From a Trinidad and Tobago perspective, I must ask you this difficult question. Trinidad and Tobago is struggling and continues to struggle. Again, it's happened this year. We can't seem to win Dinesh Ramdin, the 4-day regional tournament. The last time is going back to when Darren Ganga was the captain. That's a long, long time ago.
Yeah, very long time. I think it's all about application. When you look at the amount of, the type of shots guys are getting out with, and the number of balls and the time they're spending at the crease, it's not, you know, benefiting the team. It's not benefiting themselves. We have to be able to be batting longer, spending probably 5-6 hours at the crease. You know, it's too much of white ball format getting into our red ball at this point in time. So it's very important that, you know, guys go back to the drawing board and find that way that you can balance the white ball and red ball. But it's not that easy. It's really tough. The more cricket that guys play, it's going to help them. And as I said, too much of the white ball is affecting our red ball. We dominate the white ball, but we're not dominating the red ball. So there's something has to transpired in terms of the technical aspect of it as well, where players do things differently and it transfer into the game as well.
Have you ever thought about coaching? I'm asking that because sometimes we see a lot of retired players going to well, in my opinion, either they go into coaching or they go into commentary. A lot of them. Has either come your way or thoughts come your way on either?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, with the amount of experience that I've had, played at the international level, Trinidad, regional, no doubt at some point in the very near future, I would like to take up some coaching role. In starting with Trinidad and Tobago, I have a lot to give back to not just the national team, but lower division. For example, I'm playing with a small club down in Woodland at this point in time, trying to give my expertise, help that team to come up to our next division. But at the same time, there were so much young players there who want that person who they can look up to, as well as gain a lot of knowledge and experience to take their game to our next level. So that's why I believe, look, I'm not going to play for Trinidad again, so why not help at this grassroots level, a lower division, then they can go to second, maybe first division, and then hopefully one day represent Trinidad and Tobago. So that's me personally. Hopefully a lot of the national players not really go to play those at that level, but give some sort of coaching and expertise so that players could develop their game to take it to the next level.
The Caribbean Premier League, we know will bowls off over the next 4 to 5 months it will start. What are your thoughts on the Caribbean Premier League? Because recently there was a report done by Brian Charles Lara and others which suggested we should have more than one T20 league in the region.
It's all good and well. Yes, you want to have more, but it all boils down to sponsorship and rights. You know, who has the rights to own all this, where you can have a T20 tournament or you can't. So, I mean, the only tournament that we have right now is the Caribbean Premier League, which is the premier one. Everyone wants to get involved. It's one of our best tournaments where you find a lot of young players that come through, the Hetimeyers, the Puran, Rutherford, all those guys who have done well so far. You know, we're getting the talent. It's how we take that talent and change it. Yes, we get in from the white ball format, but how can we transition that to our red ball format, which is the most prestigious format. Anyone who loves cricket wants to play Test cricket. So it's very important that we, yes, there's one side of it, but how is it benefiting our red ball? Just our white ball is making waves. Young Rahman Paul, who has won that series in South Africa recently. Those guys played exceptional to win a series outside of home. It's always fantastic.
Cricket West Indies Cricket Board, how important is it that they get things right too, so that they can pass on to the players from the administrative point of view? When you were a player, how, in terms of the importance of the Cricket West Indies, or when you were a player, the importance of Trinidad and Tobago Cricket Board?
Yeah, first and foremost, it's the players who's the important ones. If the players are out there and they're comfortable in terms of their minds, if your mind is really relaxed and you can focus on a job, then you tend to win games for your team, your country. And it's very important that the people who are in charge, know that these are the more important people and not the people who sit behind the computer or just pay the players. These are the players who will go there and win games and bring sponsorship, bring more deals, win World Cups. So you get these 20 players and give them a 2.5 years to build and win a championship, win a World Cup, and you move from there. You don't take 20 players and then you change 15 of them in 2 or 3 series. So it's very important that you give the players the opportunity, back them, and yeah.
I also have to ask you, we have heard the announcement recently, Dinesh, that Cricket West Indies is going to soon employ 2 coaches, one for the red ball cricket and one for the white ball cricket. Now, let me just explain to people watching. The red ball cricket, when they say red ball cricket, they're talking about Test cricket. And when they say white ball cricket, they're talking about one-day internationals and T20 cricket. People have remarked, and I'm asking you on that basis, that we don't play enough cricket maybe if we don't play enough Test cricket to have one separate coach for that, as compared to the other avenue where we play T20 cricket and one-day cricket. So first question is, your thoughts of, for the first time ever, and we understand come the end of April into early May, we may hear an announcement on 2 persons being selected. Your thoughts on this new idea of having 1 coach for red ball cricket and 1 coach for white ball cricket?
Yeah, first and foremost, that's not going to help our cricket, I believe, in terms of we need to play a lot more red ball cricket. When you play 5 first-class games, and for example, you play the first 2 games, you get injured, there's no way coming back into the rest of the season. It's very difficult, even for a batter or a bowler. So I believe that, you know, when you look at the other countries, yes, they keep saying financial this, financial that, but, you know, we need to find an avenue, find a sponsor to get the entire region, all the teams to play 10, 12, 14 games so that guys can get a longer run. They will score more centuries. They'll understand the format a lot better, their game. Bowlers can play 6 games, have a 2-game rest so that they won't be burnt out and then come back to the back end of the tournament and do well. And having 2 coaches, I mean, yes, other teams are doing it. They have the financial backing. They have the amount of players. You saw the big teams are playing Test cricket in one country. They are playing white ball cricket on one country. And they're having so many players that giving them that avenue of financial support. But I don't believe we have that at this point in time. We need to focus on 1 coach, or I'm not sure how they're going to do it, but I believe that 1 coach should be enough relevant to get the job done.
Interesting you mentioned in terms of the regional cricket. What about the club cricket at the low level? Because some of us have remarked that the problem lies in the territorial boards, not enough club cricket. Now, I know Trinidad and Tobago has started back 3-day cricket. Your thoughts?
Yeah, definitely. We need to play more 3-day cricket at the club level. If you're going to play 4-day cricket at regional level, therefore, you have to have 3 full days so that, you know, when you get into that, then the entire 4 days, you build towards that. You guys can't play 2 days and then go into a 4-day tournament where, you know, you find a lot of teams at local level getting bowled out in 1 day. You have, 20, sometimes 30 wickets falling on 1 day. Guys trying to force a result where you should be able to have 3 full days of cricket, give them the opportunity to bat long. Our problem has been batting for the last 10, 12 years, not just at regional level, club level, international level. You know, you tend to find guys trying to hit the ball in the air a lot, trying to, you know, hit the gaps, run the ball down third man, run 2s, you know, dig in and bat for a long period of time. That's been our problem. So, you know, our whole demeanor, the coaching system, and including our wickets as well, you know, doesn't support. Sometimes you win a toss on a particular day, you have to bowl, you have no choice. The opposition wins, they'll send you in on a wet wicket. So all those little things play a factor for us.
In terms of these services in Trinidad and Tobago, as a captain and a captain of the West Indies, a captain of Trinidad and Tobago, do you have any say, or had during the time, did you have any say, Dinesh Ramdin, in the sort of services that were prepared for the teams that you were playing on against, or against at home in particular?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, being a captain, you don't want to go into a game where you turn up there and there's a green wicket and you don't have any seam bowlers for it. You know, you have to understand what we're playing up, what we're coming up against, the type of pitches we're going to play on against the opposition, and what strategy we're going to use to beat the opposition. So, obviously, as a captain, we had that influence in terms of getting our right conditions, getting the right combination to go out and execute our plans.
But did you find that the services in the Caribbean were aligned in favor of the West Indian bowlers, the cricket services in the Caribbean?
I don't think so. I think we could have been better in terms of giving our fast bowlers more opportunity. You know, you go to play against teams and you have good fast bowlers, but then by the second day there's nothing in the pitch for our bowlers. So then they tend to rely on reverse swing quite early in the game, where the other opposition now, you know, they have the armory to combat our pitches. For example, why it is every time, you know, England is here, they go to special grounds in the Caribbean. Why don't you take them to Guyana for a test match or some other grounds that is lower? You tend to take them to the grounds that always favor them in terms of the Barbados, the St. Lucia, wickets that's going to suit those guys. But it's hopefully probably in the near future it changes, because the crop of fast bowler like the Azari, the Kemar Roach, the Jaden Seals, Anderson Phillips, those guys need wickets to assist them to bowl out the opposition.
All right, we're going to take a short break. When we come back after the news, we're going to wrap up with Dinesh Ramdin. We're going to ask him who has been the best players he's played against in terms of both batsman and bowler. And also we're going to recap what's coming up in terms of golf and some of the outfits, the apparel, and that is on sale at 124 Not Out, the agency he is with. We take a short break. We'll be back right after the news.
Here is your WESN News on the Hour. I am Denise Martin. Thanks for joining us. Here are the headlines. Decomposed body of woman found down precipice on North Coast Road. Venezuelan national stabbed to death following domestic dispute. 18 held firearm, ammunition and narcotics seized. And internationally, 4 Pakistan border guards killed by militants near Iran. Now for the details. Police are seeking the public's assistance in making a positive identification of a body of a woman found on Sunday. Reports say the badly decomposed body was found down a precipice along the North Coast Road. The body was wrapped in garbage bags and duct tape. Police believe the woman was dumped there after being killed elsewhere. Anyone with information is asked to contact the nearest police station. A Venezuelan national is dead in what appears to be a domestic dispute. Reports say the body of 28-year-old Oel Velasquez of Petit Cafe Road, Princestown, was found on the side of the road in Naparima in New Grant, bleeding from a stab wound to his left upper chest. Velasquez had an altercation with relatives of his girlfriend just before he was stabbed. He was rushed to the hospital where he succumbed to his injuries. 18 persons were arrested and 1 firearm and quantities of ammunition and narcotics seized by officers of the Southern Division during a series of anti-crime and road traffic exercises conducted over the weekend. During the exercises, special emphasis was placed on frequently stolen motor vehicles, and 7 persons aged 19 to 62 were arrested for various offences, including failing a breathalyzer test and firearm-related offences. A total of 23 fixed penalty notices were issued during the exercises. In a separate exercise, task force officers arrested 2 male suspects for possession of a quantity of marijuana, a knife, use of obscene language, disorderly behaviour and resisting arrest. Meanwhile, 9 persons have been arrested during an anti-intelligence-led anti-crime exercise targeting housebreaking and drug-related offences. In international news now, the Pakistani army says terrorists operating from Iran have killed 4 of its border patrol troops in the southwestern province of Balochistan. An army statement said officials were talking to their Iranian counterparts to prevent such incidents in the future. The attack happened in Kech district. No group has yet claimed responsibility for the attack. Separatists in Balochistan have been fighting the government for decades. The province has a long, porous border. Well, that was your News to the Hour on WESN. I am Denise Martin. Thanks for watching.
But if we died with Christ, we have faith that we will also live with him. We know that Christ has been raised from the dead, and he will never die again. Death no longer has power over him. He died to sin once and for all with his death, but he lives for God with his life. Join WESN as we explore the death and resurrection of Christ with He is Risen, a perspective from bearing leaders within the Christian faith. He is Risen, starting March 27th only on WESN, the content capital.
Welcome back. This is WESN Content Capital, Face of Sport. We've got with us Dinesh Shutter Ramdin. He's now involved with 124 Not Out, an agency out of the USA, an agency run by Ricardo Powell and his wife, the Bazia Connection. And he's going shortly to have a golfing tournament in Trinidad. You're going to see some clips of it highlighted very shortly on the screen. He's going to tell us about that golf tournament, about some apparel, and about his thoughts on how they can promote golf, not only here in Trinidad and Tobago, but elsewhere. Again, Dinesh, remind us of this upcoming event.
Yeah, it's my first annual tournament. It's the 30th of April at Point Up Your Golf Course. It's a 2-ball, better ball, 2,000 TT per team. It starts at 10 a.m., so it's going to be lots of fun. All the golfing fraternities invited to come. Lots of prizes are going to be on show. It's more, it's not a tournament where you're going to, be all nervous. It's a tournament for fun, but at the end of the day, it's a tournament where I see, we can raise fund for a lot of young golfers in Trinidad and Tobago who striving to go to the next level, where you can, sponsor players here and there to become that next great player out of the Trinidad and Tobago who, can emulate what Stephen Ames did for golf in Trinidad and Tobago and beyond.
How can people register, get more information, Dinesh?
Yeah, you can register for my tournament. You can call Sonora at 726-1784 or myself at 362-5957. All registration, we'll try to the latest probably 4 or 5 days max before the tournament, so that we can have all the teams, all the groupings, everything taken care of, so that there won't be a rush probably 2 days before the tournament, where a lot of players still trying to get into the tournament to play. I said it's the first tournament. It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. It's all about not just it's a money making tournament. It's a tournament where whatever has been made, it's money that can go towards someone who in need of cricket, football, basketball, certain things like that. It's not for Shutter ET to build a house or something like that, just for the entire public to know that. It's all about giving back. Growing up humble, beginning in Presal Village, where I didn't have the opportunity. Now I have the opportunity to do it for myself and other young players in the sporting fraternity. And this is an opportunity I'm happy, grateful for to start this year, and hopefully it grows and gets bigger.
Any names you're looking forward to, and any celebrities, any names you're looking forward to participate? And just explain for those who may not understand and watching for the first time to understand what you mean when you say 2-ball and 4-ball, what it means.
Yeah, basically it's you and your partner versus someone else and a partner, the same tee box. Everyone hits the ball down the fairway, where you score on a hole. You make a par, it's 2 points. If you make a birdie, it's 3 points, and stuff like that. If you make a bogey, it's 1 point, and you add up your scores at the end of the front 9, the back 9, and then you take it back to the clubhouse. They will adjust and see how much is your handicap and stuff like that. And then at the end of the day, whoever has the most points obviously wins the tournament. And then behind them it's second, third, fourth, and we're going to have prizes from 1 to 10. It's not a tournament for the first 3 guys, and we're going to have pros in the tournament as well. They're going to participate to compete. And it's going to be super exciting. Guys like Ben Martin, Chris Richards Jr., those guys are coming out to support and play the tournament as well.
Yeah, as you mentioned, birdie, have you ever made an eagle yourself?
No, I haven't. I'm not that good yet.
What about a hole in one?
No, that's very difficult for me. But yeah,
for more people,
it can happen. It can happen sometimes. Crazy things happen on the golf course.
Can Ricardo Powell play golf?
He's a super long striker at the ball. I will say that.
No. I find you duck that question. You ain't duck no question. The one question you duck is Ricardo. All right, so let me ask you next week. Because I know his wife is very competitive. If Ricardo Powell was to play golf and his wife was to play golf, and they were to play against each other, shut up, when you're on the spot here, if they were playing, let me give them 9 holes, because I ain't want to give them 18 holes. I give them a 9 hole, right? And they're playing better ball. Let me give them better ball, right? Who, honestly, because anyway, the wife is very competitive. Who you think, Ms. Bazia, who you think would be more successful? I'm putting you on the spot, eh?
No, I'll have to go with Rick. Rick is the guy who always plays golf. I mean, Asha, she's more into the business side of it, but yeah, she's always competitive. So, yeah, Rick will dominate a bit on that side.
And what about you in terms of your family, in terms of your sons and them? Are they into golf or cricket? What's going on?
Yeah, so far they have been into golf, cricket, football, swimming, all the activities. So, I mean, I give them the opportunity. So, they will gravitate in years to come. Whichever sport they want to, they're open to all the activities at this point in time. Yesterday I took them to do some ATV riding recently at my friend's ranch. So, yeah, they enjoy that as well. Hopefully next week we can take them on a boat to catch some fish.
Right.
And, yeah, let them enjoy some vacation, man.
How important do you think, Dinesh, is sports in terms of education for youngsters?
I think it's the number one thing. It's number one that whatever you learn here can transition onto the cricket field, and the discipline, getting to school on time, making sure your schoolwork is well looked after and taken care of. If you pick up a newspaper and you can read it as well, someone buys you for $1 million in the US. In the US Premier League, and your agent takes 10% of that, you should be able to tell that agent, look, 10%, okay, fine. Then what is 10%? Is 10% 500,000 of that $1 million? You don't want someone to be able to take, and 10 years down the road, you earn 100 million and you end up with 20. So it's very easy to, and it has happened with players in the past who have made a lot of money through cricket, and people have taken advantage of them in terms of not understanding, X, Y, and Z and stuff like that. So, I mean, my kids, definitely that's going to be number one priority, making sure that they have that, as well as on the cricket, football, swimming, whatever side that they choose, they can balance that and become good at both levels.
How important would an agency then like 124 not out be in something like that?
There's agency and there's, what's the other word for it? There's agency and there's managers.
Yes.
Your agency should be able to show you that part where they look after everything rather than getting a contract for you. They take their percentage, go their way. When they should be able to financially look after this player in every way possible to secure him for the next 10, 15 years, not just get a contract for him, take their percentage, they go their way. No, I don't believe that should be an agent or a manager, get out of jail. You should be able to, if these are your players, you should best look after them where, if they're not playing international cricket, what does this agency do for you outside of that to earn money? And which 124 right now is doing, and they are changing the game in terms of that aspect of it.
If people want to get more in contact listening to this program, young cricketers, young sportsmen, because I know it's not only cricket you're dealing with, young sportsmen and women, how can they get in contact with 124 Not Out?
Yeah, they're on Instagram at 124 Not Out. So that's the easiest way you can get them. Hit them a message, follow 124 Not Out. And there's so many people keep asking me every day, how you get in contact with them, how do you recommend someone? And then you send clips of yourself, not just only in cricket, but in football, whatever sport. Obviously, they do cricket, yes. But they are so connected in different sporting fields that, that can get out to someone else in the US, someone else in the UK, India, South Africa. With technology, at this point in time, it's clip of your fingers and it goes to the other side of the world in seconds.
Indeed. As you go now, the hardest question. The best player you've played against in terms of bowler, the best player you've played against in terms of batsman.
Batsman playing against would be obviously Sachin Tendulkar, with Lara on my team at the time. So those two are the two players back then. And then this current era here would be Virat Kohli. I can't leave out that guy who has been phenomenal all formats of the game. And bowling back then were spinner of Mulitaran. As one spinner. And then we had Glenn McGrath from Australia who, just bowls on a penny, then he never moves.
And let me ask you this one. Who was the bowler you love to face? The bowler you beat the most? Once that bowler come on, you know you're going to beat him up and down the ground, over the ground, wherever it is. Which bowler? You can say it now because you're not to play him again. Which bowler you know when you look on the score sheet and you see that man name, you say, right, that's the man for licks.
No, obviously, when you play against players and you have an off-spinner bowling, that ball comes into you, you try to go after them. I target guys like probably Graham Swan in the time. But yeah, it's all about on the day, when you're on the go. My century that I scored in Antigua, I was going after, what's his name? Tim Bresman that game.
Yes.
And then, everything falls in line when you're on the go. One CPL game, I had Shida Fridi, 4 6s and 1 over. So, I mean, on the day, it's cricket, whoever has the upper hand. Once your blood is pumping, things are, as I said, strange things happen on the cricket field. When you do the hard work off the field, it becomes easier on the field.
And in terms of the Trinidad and Tobago, when you're playing cricket in Trinidad and Tobago, which bowler you look forward to beating in Trinidad and Tobago?
All.
A safe bet. They are safe bet. Final message from you. And again, let's put up on the screen, people. We want people to know this. April the 30th. Again, remind us, Dinesh, as you go about this event, how people can register, what's the deadline, what's the cost, and and overall, it's for the benefit of persons involved in sport who may be in need right now. So go ahead.
Yeah, the 30th of April, my first annual golf tournament, 2 World Better Ball at Pointe-à-Pierre Golf Club in Petrotrin. It starts at 10 a.m. It's 2,000 TT to register, so you can get in contact with, as I said myself, at 362-5957 or Zenora at 726-1784. It's going to be super. It's going to be exciting. It's a good day of fun. Come out there and relax and enjoy yourselves.
Dinesh Ramden, thank you very much. Good luck. Continue to improve your handicap. We'll keep in touch with you and we continue to follow and look forward to more updates. And how is your football team doing? How is in England? How is your football team doing?
Sorry, I didn't get that.
How is your England football team doing in the Premier League? How is your team doing?
Oh, I haven't followed that in recent times. So all I getting messages from my Arsenal friends there, Arsenal there. So I need to try and follow up some football at this point in time.
I think you need to. So much thanks to you. Thank you very much. Thanks to Ricardo Paul and his team for ensuring that this is on. And again, April the 30th. Stay safe, Dinesh. All the best to you and your family, your wife and your children. Take care. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.
That was, of course, Dinesh Ramden, the best wicketkeeper in the Caribbean. And he is, of course, as we all know, still involved in cricket at the local level. We take a short break. We'll be back. This is WESN Content Capital, Face of Sports.
Knowing how to tell authentic is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Find it, match it, search it. Step 1. Find the style number on the tag. Step 2. Match the style number inside the jersey with the number on the tag. Step 3. Search it. A quick Google search of the style number will verify the jersey is authentic when the search results match the jersey being searched. Don't be fooled by counterfeit jerseys. Before you buy, remember to find it, match it, search it.
Fan Zone, 2 locations nationwide. Center City Mall, Chaguanas and Movietown, Port of Spain. Nationwide delivery available.
The best laptops and tablets are at dbesttoys.com. Get a Gateway 14.1-inch Ultra Slim notebook or an HP 14-inch laptop at the best prices in TNT. Get the Fire 7 tablet for $474. You can also shop the latest Amazon Fire Sticks. Call now at 32-DBEST to order or visit us in-store at Forces flagship Mac Bean. Shop online now at dbesttoys.com. Free delivery available throughout Trinidad and Tobago. Cash or links on delivery.
The issue, the continued rise in the price of flour and its impact on the cost of living in Trinidad and Tobago. How should we go about it? I want to ask you what has been revealed to you about the state of vulnerability in the country because of this exercise and because of what we're going through. Is the government losing the war on the vaccine front?
The discussion should revolve around the common good for the greatest number of people in Trinidad and Tobago.
How do we inculcate a sense of respect and regard for people who may not be of your own political ilk or persuasion?
The communities are now being used by political opportunists. So
when the tables are turned, it's the same way. Okay, this has been 10 questions. I'm Andy Johnson, and we'll see you next time.
Welcome back. This is WESN Content Capital, Face of Sports. Much thanks to Dinesh Shutter Ramden. Remember, April the 30th, go online, check, and be part of this golfing extravaganza that takes place in the South, Trinidad and Tobago. Get involved, be a part of it all. As you heard, it's better ball.